Hello, hello, hello. YouTube. Yes. We are back after some time. After having problems with the streaming. I have to get used to this thing though. Got to get used to it. How you guys doing? My name is Bushiri Wamoreu, and I am representing the country called Kenya. Yes. Today I had a video of a channel that had this discussion of African Americans and Africans are not one. Like they seem to think that the continent people and the African Americans are not one, and they discussed, and at some point they were talking about how American women are coming to Africa to try to get married or to get lucky. And I thought that was interesting. I thought maybe I should just cover that with you guys and see what's up. All right. So far, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's the case or not? However, I don't really mind that. If you're looking for love, look for it anywhere that you can get it, right? No one's judging. Let's get into the video. I know I'm 30 minutes late. I had a problem with the internet. My Wi-Fi was just acting up for some weird freaking reason. Let's do this.
If you are not married at a certain age in Ghana or Africa, it's an issue.
Sure. It's like you're expired.
Do Africans and African Americans believe that we are one?
Now that I'm here in Ghana, it's been made very clear.
We don't see ourselves as one people, and we never have, and we never will.
Yep. So it's a very interesting video, but the interesting bit starts at around
To be African.
20th
Remember,
minute.
Barack Obama, he's not an
20th
African
minute.
American.
Fourth
His
minute.
father was
Fourth
African.
minute.
So
420.
he's looking at what does that mean?
Let me get
somebody
to
who
that point.
is, celebrating the diaspora growing through the transatlantic slave trade, but then looking at what does that mean for those of us who look like one another? What does that blackness look like? How do we now harness that energy?
You see, this woman, she's delved into the history already. But okay, so let's start with, do Africans and African Americans believe that we are one?
I feel like we are, but as a whole, the answer is no.
I share sentiments with Vanessa. I definitely think we're the same, and it's because
Someone said I'm doing too much American content. Well, that's the purpose of my channel. I'm trying to bring the two places together, or give my opinions on either of the African American stuff and the African stuff. Like just giving an opinion on them. So that is what I'm doing. If you have suggestions, also maybe you can let me know what you'd rather see.
I'm coming from a place where we experience and consistently deal with racism. So when I see you, I see me. I don't care. I don't even bother to ask where you're from. I see you, I see me. But now that I'm here in Ghana, it's been made very clear, right? Even not just differences amongst Ghanaians and Americans, African Americans, but even Ghanaians and Nigerians. I hear often Native Africans even making differences between themselves. So I think we need to do better with looking at ourselves as the same.
Has history made us not love each other?
See, the thing is, we are actually not really all that the same. I think the only things we have in common is that we are the same continent and we have a black skin. Our cultures are very different. So, for that one particular reason, that the cultures are very different, we tend not to see each other as the same. So, I agree. I know that Americans tend to look at Africans as one thing. So, it's your perspective, I guess. It's what you guys like to see or you romanticize about it. But in real sense, we are very different. 54 countries, and each country has like very, very many tribes. We have this is Africa. Most don't deal with racism in America, but people like her. Oh well, play that racism card. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like saying that it doesn't exist because I haven't really experienced it. So, but again, if you have experienced it, maybe you are at a better position to like let us know. For me, it's more of like this is what I see from where I stand. I look at YouTube channels. I try to learn about the American culture, and most of them do say that. There's some African Americans who are going to play that racism card like a lot, right? So that's that. And also, I mean, there's some who will say that it is true that racism does exist, and it's a reason why most African Americans are not doing all that well.
As black people, why is it that somebody from Nigeria may not want to work with somebody in Ghana, or somebody in Ivory Coast not want to work with somebody in Togo? What has happened that has created that barrier against each other? I'll start with Mademoiselle Selena, the history woman.
We don't see ourselves as one people, and we never have, and we never will. When we look through history, you know, we have this title black, but that title was gifted to us. All the titles we have been gifted. The titles that haven't been gifted are tribal titles, nation titles, titles that tie us back to land, community, and identity. When we look at black culture is jerk chicken, it's jazz, it's salsa, it's capoeira. This is an amalgamation of cultures that have an infusion of direct African influence, and then those of us who were taken and creating new cultures outside. So black isn't one thing, it never has been. When
our food is in, by the way, we ordered food, we pre-ordered our food.
Yeah, we've never been one thing. Even back then, we've never been one continent, one country. Unfortunately or fortunately, diversity is also a good thing. It's very important for people to have, you know, diversity. I mean, the world would be so boring if we were all the same. So at this point, they do their food thing. But let me just forward it for you guys.
One thing. One, we would have to take away all of those cultural identities. We'd have to work out one language, one, you know, means of communication, one form of dress, one form of dance, you know, but we're not one thing. Okay. But that connection to the mother country is a oneness that we are now looking at the variety of how we have expanded on our cultures and on our own identities to be able to come together, to be able to reinforce what that history, what the present and what the future can go on to look like, looking at the source of where we have started from.
Okay. Leading from what Selena is saying, do you believe that we're one? Coming from, as an indigenous Ghanaian, living in America for so long, did you feel that oneness when you came to Ghana?
I didn't.
Okay.
I always, and I think it's even telling of how we describe each other. Let's say African Americans describe Africans, or Africans describe African Americans. I am Ghanaian blood. I wasn't born here, I wasn't raised here, but I am Ghanaian. Yeah. But moving back, I felt like I'm not Ghanaian. I'll go into spaces and it's always, oh, American girl, oh, American this, oh, and it's like, but I'm Ghanaian, you know? Which is hurtful because it makes me feel like I should have been back sooner. Maybe I should have researched more. I don't know, dived more into my culture. But at the same time, it's always about growth, right? Yeah. But yeah, I still get it till today, even the whole, hey, oh, brony, you're not brony, you're not Ghanaian, you
Wow.
know? Or even when I'm eating fufu, people are
I mean, it's more of like we don't think you look or you act Kenyan in my perspective or African enough. Like there are some things we can just pick. Just look at you, the way you behave, and you'll be like, okay, this person is not from here. And it's not like we are hating or anything. It's just it's an observation, and people are going to call it out. It's the same way as a new African. I am assuming when a new African is in the US or in any country in the West, they will obviously be different. Their culture is different. They'll act different. So I think that's really the case. So this is Africa. It says it exists, blown out of proportion by racist people and TV politics because because they are racist. Okay. They're not doing all that well because they have so much hate in them. Oh wow. Okay. So the hate is like blinding them. That's what you think. Well, it could be. So you are from the US. Do you? And you don't really think the US is racist? Are you like a Native American person or what's happening there? Like, because I can see your channel is like called This is Africa. So I'm assuming you're an African American. So it's a very interesting perspective when I see that the divisiveness or people being divided in terms of the racist thing. The Africans would think that America is so racist, and some just don't think so.
surprised that I like fufu. And I'm just like, I can eat fufu 7 days a week. Like, I love, one thing is that my...
Oh, you're Mzungu. Hello. Oh, well, you're married to a Kenyan. Then that's our that's our thing. That's our African, the Kenyan Swahili name, Zungu, for white man. Well, hi. Well, yeah, it's still interesting. I still see the African Americans having that opinion about other African Americans. So
My mom did not take the culture away from us, you know, so all the food, speaking Tree, understanding Tree, it's all in me, you know, it's just that I wasn't here. So my answer is, I think we are, but many others don't think we are. And that's from how my example of my personal treatment returning back 8 years ago. Yes.
So Denta, you know, coming from the U.S., I refer to myself as an African born in America. I didn't have a particular country or land or tribe, if you will, to tie myself to.
So you didn't do a DNA?
I did do a DNA later.
Okay.
But I do want to just point out that for most African Americans who are interested in our background, we take on all Africa as a whole, right? And please understand, I know that Africa is a continent and not a country, but to be able to pick and choose different cultural things, I think that's awesome that we've been able to do as African Americans. But also, it's looked down upon because we truly don't just know who we really are, who we really belong to. So just to answer your question, I definitely think we're the same. If we were all in the U.S., the police would stop us all. They wouldn't ask if I was Jamaican or Ghanaian or Nigerian, right? So that's something I do try to share with a lot of Ghanaians here that I interact with. I tell them, hey, we're not going to practice colonialism or white supremacy up in here. And I explain to them that, you know, the Berlin Conference designated these lines here. So the person you're maybe frowning your face at could possibly be your cousin. So overall,
you have to ask yourself, when people are always complaining and are born in a country with opportunities, Yet Africans don't have these issues in America. That leaves you with behavior issues. Lazy pride. Oh well. You're really coming for them. It was interesting when she said that even Africans are going to be stopped by the police. There was another African American person I'd watched who was saying that when Africans are stopped by the police, they are really quick to throw the fact that they are not African Americans to the police and they're going to be set free by the police, apparently. What do you think about that issue of African Americans being getting in trouble with the police officers? Is that what's your opinion on that?
No, I don't think we don't consider ourselves the same, but we absolutely should.
How was the cultural shock moving from the US? You are into IT
Yes.
in the US.
Yes.
And you gave that up.
I did.
Why did you give up everything to come and settle in Ghana?
Well, I think in the U.S. they sell us this false sense of freedom and this false sense of security. Yeah, we make all this money, but you're always at work. And you're there to pay off all of your debt. One thing that was a major culture shock coming here, people will tell you Africa is poor. Africa ain't poor. Ghana is a cash society. You don't have no cash, you can't pass. So in the U.S., you can function.
It's very interesting that when people think of Africa, the first thing they always think about is poor. And when people are rich in Africa, they're like rich. They're not like waiting for they're not like waiting for credit cards or anything or bank loans. People just go and buy stuff. I mean, we can get loans, but for the most part, if you see someone with a car, they actually bought that car cash, or in rare occasions that they're using loans or credits. It's not really something that we do. And obviously, when you're poor in Africa, you're like really poor also. Sadly, it cuts both ways. This is Africa. Not true. I never heard this from an African. AAs are making up stories about Africans. About Africans are not true. Okay, the AA is getting in trouble. It's just that they're getting Okay, they're getting in trouble because they're breaking the law. Okay, and obviously, let me also say this as an African sitting in Africa, I can see that sometimes that African Americans are really kind of, they're engaging in themselves in some things that as an African, if I was there, I wouldn't really do. So we have Jay Murray. Yo, Wagwan. Hey, Wagwan, where are you from, man? Where are you from, Wagwan? Are you from Jamaica?
And live on the high horse with credit, but the minute you lose your employment or something like that, you fall.
Yep.
So we have this false sense of security, false sense of freedom. Now that I've been here in Ghana, I really, truly believe, or I feel like I'm experiencing true freedom. No one, I don't even feel black here. Explaining that concept to someone is a whole nother, those are stories for other days. But the culture shock there's been a lot of other things that I didn't prepare for.
Like, let's talk about them. Let's talk about them. That's what we want to know.
Yeah. So everybody knows about the lights going out, Doomsor. Everybody knows that. Everybody's warned you about that. But the lights will come back on. Everybody's warned you about the water not running.
The lights will go out in Africa. Too bad. Well, they do come back. That's the thing. This is Africa. Right. Because the Africans here, for the most part, are not and will not do the things that they are doing as well. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just their culture. I don't know. I'm really trying not to speak about what they do there. I'm just trying to talk about really the culture thing. the difference in what they're doing? Because their behavior is really mostly individual people, right? Or is it so widespread, really?
But maybe for the ladies, maybe no one has warned you that if you don't have a husband, a lot of times you can be marginalized or overlooked, dismissed even. So those were cultural things I had to definitely get used to.
So you feel like people would respect you more if you were married.
Absolutely.
So when
Yes.
you're not married, they probably make little comments here and, oh, you're not married? Oh,
Or where's your husband?
yeah.
Like, I'm
Where
not gonna bother
is your
talking to you. Where's your
husband,
husband? Let's just get down to
Wow.
business. So, you know.
Have you been through that?
I haven't been through that in that way, but I completely understand that, because with the work that I do, my room's filled with men. And so when I'm the woman in the room, I'm literally the woman in the room. And you know, we know that African Americans, British women, they've been fighting for, you know, the liberty to vote for over 100 years. That we, you know, we look at the plights of the suffragette movements and things like that, and especially even here, you know, the fight of women being able to have a status for themselves, to be able to function alongside men. And this is something, you know, colonialism has warped here in the continent, and, you know, generationally, we continue the same practices. But when it comes down to being here, I feel that as a woman, if I was married, I would have more opportunities available to me. And when people see this or hear this, they may think, well, you know, you're not working hard enough, or, you know, I'm not doing something. Well, that's not what it is. We live in a misogynistic world.
That's the thing, really, because in Africa, most men are going to provide for their women. Like, the woman can just sit at home and wait for the husband to bring everything, right? So it's not really a matter of misogynistic. It's just how the system is. It's so weird when African American women coming to Africa and expecting the same things to work here. Like, we have a different culture. There's a way we do things here. I mean, it's not really. If you're coming with such expectations, then you're going to be really sad. Things are not going to work out for you. Leave those expectations at the airport when you land. Come expecting Africans to behave the way Africans behave.
Man has always been at the center of patriarchy, even though, you know, we have queens, we have women heads, but it's the patriarchy, or the illusion of a patriarchy, that then makes the woman submissive. We must know our place and things like that. You know, we've grown up with all of those concepts. So though personally, they may not affect us in our personal homes, but from the world perspective, what is the worldview of the woman? What is the worldview of the man? Who comes first? We talk about protector, provider, you know, man of the house. Yeah, man of the house, but the woman runs the house.
It's just a different culture, right? Like, we have different roles. We can't all be the same role. Like, we're going to clash. We have to have a head and someone who's gonna take the other side of maybe the neck, become the neck, right? So if you want to all of you to be the head, then everything's gonna be messy. That's why we have roles in Africa, and these roles are not just placed here like recently. They're not roles that are placed to suppress women, really. Just how things worked, and that is how evolution happened to have brought things up to this point. This is Africa. About 20% of who don't say that these things, who are African Americans, are called worse things by African Americans than immigrants. Okay, they're considered the worst of the worst, called out sellouts for being educated or getting well paid. Wow. Man. Crazy stuff. I'm not even sure what comeback to give or what to say about that. But again, I'm doing this channel. I'm making these videos so that I'm also learning, like, in terms of the cultures and what is happening out there. So I'm an open canvas. I'm willing to learn from anybody and everybody. Thanks for that.
So where is the equality in the fact that not one can do all? But being here, again, if you're pretty, you're things like that, you get more available to you. These are facts. Men want pretty women. These are facts. But how does that help the work? How does that help develop what we need to get done? Where is the professionalism that we may think we have abroad, but we're coming home with that ideology that, as women, we're able to venture and have positions because we are good at our jobs. But we have laws in place that mean that diversity means you have to employ a woman. They have had to put things in place so that we have opportunities, not because it's right. So if you have to put laws and acts in place, what does the framework say in the first place? That it's a man's world.
Isn't that what really happened also in the West, really? Like, you had to put roles. Like, even in America, they had the founding fathers and all those. And most leaders, actually, in the US still today, are males, right? These things have to be placed in the system for them to work. Women won't even vote for other women in Kenya. Like, we have to have, like, women reps. Then we have, like, members of parliaments. Like, they have to have like their own divisions so that they can get elected. So it's us placing, like, making these rules to maybe support women who want to be in leadership should be actually commended rather than being looked down upon.
And whether or not you like it or not, that's what the framework says. Who were the founding fathers? There were no women. And now we are asserting ourselves to say, this is not okay, this is no longer acceptable, but we still have to work within their margins. Yeah. We still have to do it from their order, their platform, and then they decide,
I do want to just jump.
Well, they're deciding because if things happen, they're the ones who are going to be to be blamed, right? If the leader of something, even if they were not really there when something went bad, if something went wrong, the ones who are going to be blamed, the leaders, and men in general are the leaders. So that's why we have to like be taking this Western feminism ideas with a grain of salt. Really, it's not all that much that men are trying to oppress women. Women have their own role, and it's not bad. It's just different because they're women. So we have this is Africa again. You should check out a few African American channels like Officer Tatum and Larry Elders. They're just two of many YouTube channels that tell it like it is. Okay, I'm gonna take note on that. Thanks.
Then and add one more point.
Yeah.
Also, let me just ask. This is Africa. Do you think the slavery thing had such a big impact on African Americans? Because again, it could be generational, right? It might be affecting them, even if not directly at this point. Do you think possibly it's something that in the past made a very big impact in their psychology, that they have maybe a tougher time maybe trusting the system?
Right, because I definitely don't want to come off male bashing. Mm-hmm. I also want to even give a positive culture shock that I've experienced here with men. Mm-hmm. So if I have groceries or my dispenser water or anything like that in my vehicle, for example, the men are the epitome of chivalry. So I do want to highlight that here, and that's something I did not experience in the U.S. So I cherish that. I really think that's special for me in particular, to be able to look to men and reach out and trust them.
You're right, because in the UK you could have
these women who go to Kevin Samuel's channel and say they don't need men. And she is like having a good time when she sees African men like trying to, treat her like a lady, trying to help her out. That is the role of men. You can't just see a woman struggling and just leave her to her own problems, right? But again, I figured that feminists don't even want men to open the doors for them and stuff. It's crazy.
10 bags of shopping in your hand. The men will be walking past. But no, literally in Ghana, they would help you out. If you break down on the roadside, you will get help. In the UK, there's not even no eye contact, let alone like you trying to put your hand out for help.
It depends on the area you're in, because I'm from Brixton. And
You ain't getting help in Brixton.
I am getting
No,
help.
you're not
and
getting
that's
help.
And that's the weakness, right?
Are you
So, right, and because when our men see us, well, when they see me and they think that I need help, they come and they ask.
Oh, really?
They do, and like I've been, my car's broken down the side of the road and I'm out. People have stopped their cars for me, so it's definitely a cultural thing. So if you're in certain environments and you're around, your people, and when you say your people, this is again back to this: are we all one? We're not all the same people because we don't all interact in the same way. I know.
I think American women have just beaten down that system of men trying to be nice to them. Like they really don't want it. They think the man is like looking down upon them. So because the woman here who was just speaking, I think she's from the UK, and she claims they have chivalrous men.
Where I am, if I need help is coming my way. And I think because we're here and we are the majority here, it's very different. So how we're interacting and relating to men and women here is very different. And we use where we're coming from as a framework. We can't do that. It's completely different, because even when we were talking about how it is to be here, feeling that we need to be married or the certain level of respect.
Because quickly, sorry, I was going to chime in about the married thing. I think, and there's another personal one. I have too many personal stories. But when I had my son 4 years ago, automatically when people see me out, it's, oh, where's your husband? Oh, are you married? Or they're looking at my finger, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, and it's like, oh, so when? Oh, don't you want a husband? Aren't you looking for? And I'm like, I'm not looking. Like, what comes will come, So that is like, stop.
If you're not looking for it, it's not gonna come. You have to put effort in everything you're doing, or you just don't sit down and manifest a husband. That's stupid.
Leave women to just be. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
So imagine if you were born here, what pressures are the women facing here with that? So those of us who are coming in who feel that this is an issue, what about the women who are already here, who this is normal for them?
Right.
So when we're coming with our world view, we're coming with our world understandings, with how we've understood ourselves, how we represent as being African, because we claim the continent, whereas we're claiming a country here. We're not claiming a continent. So whereas we may mix in some Eritrean, we may mix in some South African, some Angola here, it's Ghana here. And it's very, very Ghana here. And how do they get the infusion of other cultures unless we're coming in?
And I also feel like, touching on your point, is that if you are not married
This is Africa. No, it's not. They teach the kids to play victim to one day get reparations from the government. They want to get paid for suffering that they never went through. Oh shit! Those people are no longer here. Well, you're really making me think hard.
an age in Ghana or Africa, it's an issue.
Sure. It's like you're expired. Don't even try at this point. No one, like,
Spoiled milk.
yeah, it's like, oh no, but no man will want you at a certain age. So like, just, don't you like the guy you're dating? Just hurry up, like, make it happen. And it's like,
Yes, men don't want women who are 30 years plus. For the most part, they wouldn't want that. They're looking for younger women. Well, younger women have less damage. That's just it, man. If you're an older woman, well, men are gonna look past you very first. The minute you say you're 30, they'll be like, okay, so you've been dating for like 10, 12 years, since maybe you're 18. You have never settled down with anyone? Question marks, really? Because there must be something wrong with you. Especially if you're a very attractive woman and you haven't really settled at that point. It smells trouble. They just see that and they're like, oh shit, This one is the crazy type.
Pressure. And
a
I
lot of
feel like that's why there's a lot of unhappy women in there.
I got married. So would you rather be that one or I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people, they're still trying to find themselves. To each his own, but I don't feel like the pressure should be so much on the woman.
Do you feel the pressure of, I'm not married, I need to get married? Is it the same? Do you see it the same in Ghana?
There's definitely pressure to be married, but it is not it is not a cultural mandatory requirement.
Right.
Right. In fact, I would say that part of the attractiveness of coming to Ghana for a lot of African American women is the opportunity to marry. We don't have that opportunity in the U.S. If you look at our marriage rates and things like that, they're very low. So I know that a lot of my friends have come here and they've been lucky, right? They've found love. They've come here and gotten married.
Oh, wow.
So I still think there's some pressure overall, universally for women to be married. But Ghana is a whole nother situation when it comes to where is your husband.
And have you been able to have some type of relationships in Ghana yet?
No, not at all, because I am older. I'm 48, so I definitely have men that I see that I think are attractive. There are men that think I'm attractive, and then once we start to have a conversation, I find out they're 14 or 15 years younger than me, so it becomes not an option. They're just good looking from afar.
And that's the thing. How would you be 48 and still single? Like, I mean, even if you don't want to get pressured into it, if that was something that you wanted to do, people at 21 are getting married in Kenya. People at 23, 24 are getting married in Kenya. You are double their age, and you're still looking to get married. I mean, at some point you should just get someone who's like checking at least most of your boxes and just live. And just live with them. They don't have to like check every single box that you have. And that is one of the things that women don't get. Men also settle. We don't get everything. This is Africa. Also, most African Americans are not even thinking of Africa. The ones that do will never move to Africa. The ones on YouTube, most think the ones on YouTube most think they are expert on Africa and have never been to the motherland. Yeah, I agree. I kind of see some people just talking for the sake of talking about Africa. Western feminism is a huge part as to why she has no man. Yeah, I agree. This feminism thing is just fooling a lot of women.
And for me in particular, I've been really submerged in my business.
Okay.
So as soon as I get to a point where the business is...
Plus, she's also saying she's really submerged into her business. And she's already in Africa, meaning by the time she was in the US, she was already much, much busier. She wasn't even giving any man any time, right? Because at 48, that's some crazy. I mean, just get someone and get married, man. At this point, you don't have to be picky. Get someone. Just get them to propose to you somehow. The way there's a way a woman can just, manipulate you to marry them. I'd rather she does that and rather than just complaining that men are not available.
Running and it's automated, like it's running itself. Then I'm taking phone numbers. If you got cousins or brothers and they're over 40, then send me a message.
Vanessa, how is Ghanaian men?
African men are wanted. We are on demand. Why do women think African men are like better? We are not. We're still the same dudes. We're gonna play you. In fact, the fact that you don't know our language, you can easily text someone with a different language. You'll never understand. You'll be seeing our messages. You'll never know we're cheating. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like say that. This is Africa. No, she had plenty of men. Okay, yeah. Most American women like the men cheating. Yeah, sure. In fact, I'd say women are more sneakier when it comes to cheating, or just have many side dudes, like have cases of bottled water on hand. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's something cultural there. I didn't get the last bit.
You know, it's been interesting. I've dated a couple of times since I moved back 8 years ago.
So this year, the younger woman here, I think she's single, and I think she is a single mom. So from the videos that I'd watched, she said she has a kid. So I'm assuming she's a single mom because she's clearly single.
And it's interesting. I don't feel they're transparent enough. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's my New York personality, and we're very blunt, we're very vocal, we like to communicate.
You have to bring that down, man. In Africa, things run differently. You don't go to the Romans and start doing what your motherland did. You go there and do what the Romans are doing. You survive. Survival is for the fittest. If you don't evolve, well, you're going to have a hard time, tough time, difficult time. Leave the New Yorkness in New York. When you come to Africa, observe how women are behaving and do what they're doing. That way, or maybe even do it better. You know, that's how you're going to land a man. If you just want to do whatever it is you've been doing in the US and you didn't get a man while in the US, what makes you think it's going to work for you while in Africa? We are a different breed of men.
And I think that's the word. There's a lack of communication. You know, you're saying A, give me back B, and it's like Z, and it's like, why are we going in circles, you know?
This is Africa, meaning she has had just as many men in her life as having bottles of water to drink in her life. Oh shit! Take her words with a grain of salt. Okay.
But they are very handsome, very good looking men. And funny enough, well, not funny, when I was in New York, I never dated a Ghanaian.
Wow.
I had never dated, like, I was very US of A. I am there. I didn't go to school with Ghanaians. I didn't have Ghanaian friends.
Wow.
Not my mom, of course.
It's weird that she didn't really interact with so many Ghanaians while she was living in the US, and she had the guts to even complain that when she went to Ghana, people were not thinking that she's Ghanaian enough. You know, you had your chance to like interact with Ghanaians and see how they live, how they think, how they talk. It was a very good opportunity for you. If you had done that, I think it would have been easier for you to come back and like just be absorbed back in this community.
She had her Ghanaian community, they had children, but I had my own friends, and so.
This is Africa. I haven't set that up. I wanted to do it, but maybe on the next live I'm gonna be doing it. So just keep watching. Maybe next week I'll do a live and I'll make sure I've set that up on Zoom. I have the system running already, but I didn't have the link. No, it's not on StreamYard. But I will set it up next time, so maybe we can have a conversation one-on-one.
this was really fresh for me. So dating a Ghanaian guy, literally when I came here was
No, this is I'm using OBS Studio. It's not Melon. It's not StreamYard or Zoom. It's just OBS Studio. But yeah, I'll make sure to do that because I know people would like to like call in and like give their opinions. It will be quite interesting. Sawa. You're clearly married to a Kenyan man.
She said interesting about 7 times. Interesting. You're very big on history because you are a historian, right? And this is what you've been doing for a long time, or most of your life. How much history do you think we know in this country?
0.2%.
0.2%. Yeah. Sis, that's low.
It's not low, it's just a number. And the reason why I say that.
So at this point, they're going on the direction of Pan-Africanism and stuff. So I didn't want to go all that much because I just wanted to talk about their dating life and stuff. If you're interested in me doing the Pan-Africanism bit, let me know. However, my opinion is quite clear. I do not think Africans are really Pan-Africanists because that is what they were discussing. Because we live individual lives. We really don't care much about neighboring countries. We know about them, but we couldn't care less. I think Pan-Africanism is really an African-American thing. They're trying to push it, or Africans living in abroad. That is something that maybe they're trying to push. However, I don't see most local Africans or Kenyans, in my case, thinking in the direction of Pan-Africanism. There are few people that I know who do that, who maybe talk that talk. But if I'd say out of 100, I'd say maybe 3 that I know. The other side of the story of America that you are getting on YouTube. Okay. Sure, man. We'll set that up on the next live. I should be set up for that. So if you will join in on that one, I'll give you a link. But let me stop this live at this point. Thank you so much. This is Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping me busy on my live. These are among my first lives, so they're a bit wonky, but they will improve with time. People who push Pan-Africanism are doing a lot of money grab. Oh yes. I saw someone talking about that. I'm not really sure how they're doing it. I should really maybe get into that. Maybe educate myself on how they're doing it, and maybe see if it's actually true or false before I actually comment on this. But I have seen someone posting about that, but I haven't really dove deep into it. But yes, there could be people who are like taking some cheddar from people who are desperately trying to come back to Africa. Phil is doing it. He's not a friend of. Okay. I have sources if you need it. Yeah, sure. Let me just give you my email. You can maybe send me some. It's you can send me. Yeah, you can send me there. Hit me up. I can have a relationship with a woman from whatever continent in the world. This is Hondaman VTech. Cool, man. Well, we are all trying to, be modern and love each other. I mean, I do not mind dating a white woman, an Asian woman, or whatever. I mean, I am open for anyone as long as we are good. We are good together. We can communicate. we respect each other. You know, it's not really about color. This video was mostly about African American women just trying to come and get African men. And actually, I have nothing against it. Because also African American men are trying to come and get African women here because they think they're kind of softer, humble. It's a thing. So I have nothing against African American women trying to get a partner from Africa. However, I think the cultures are very different, and if you've never interacted with an African and had a successful interaction, it's gonna be difficult, you know, to date someone and like be with them. Hondaman Vitek. How is it pronounced? It's all about love, not about color. True, 100%, man. Racism is stupid. We are all the same people, man. I'm white, but you're my brother. We are one race, human race, man. I appreciate this is good stuff. This is what we want. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. This is Africa. Maybe give me those sources. Send me the sources on my email. I'll really appreciate to look into that. And also on the next live, I'll make sure there's somehow a way that you can call in, or whoever wants to call in that day. So I'll be leaving at this point, but I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, from nowhere to Kenya. Peace.